Let's see if it
Yay.
goes. Yay! Hold on. I want to like make sure it's actually working. Is it?
Yeah, it is. You're live.
Beautiful. Okay, well, everyone's gonna have to like give me some grace because I don't know what I'm doing over here. Hello. I am dragging Joanna into this with me. This is XoJo. She's one of my besties here on BookTube. And we're going to be doing some reading sprints. Sam might be joining later, but we'll see. Jo, what are you reading?
I'm actually reading, it's going to come out in November. It's called The Serpent and the Wolf, and it's like a romantasy. And I was super interested in it because it's arranged marriage and like sworn enemies because they're rival kingdoms and stuff. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of in that arranged marriage mood. Like I'm curious. So yeah, I'm about like a third of the way through the book. So we'll see. Hi, Gavin.
Hi, Gavin. I didn't know if he would watch or not. Oh, and there's my sister. I knew my family would show up. They'd be like, oh, hey.
#1 fans.
We
So
love
that's
it.
what
We
I'm
love a
reading.
supportive fam.
And then I'm also doing I'm finishing the Disney book just because it's like I feel like I take longer with those books because it's heavy, like child stardom and salaries and like all that stuff. It just feels a little bit heavier. And she did a ton of research, so I'm like slowly making my way through, but I'm like 90% through the book. So
you're gonna have to let me know how that is after you finish it because I'm curious.
It was actually interesting because the author also said that if you're like a big Disney fan, you should still read it. Because she comes from a place of like loving Disney as opposed to someone who just critiques it. And I think that's like a really nice, I don't know, point of view to write from. And there's a lot of research. And I don't know, if you grew up like loving like Hannah Montana and like Wizards, which I did, it's a really good read, I think.
I loved Wizards of Waverly Place. That was fine. I loved Sweet Life.
Yeah, she goes into Sweet Life and she goes into Sweet Life on Deck.
Yeah.
So she goes
Those
into
are like
all of those.
my faves. I loved them so much.
What about you?
So I'm craving a romantasy. Like or like an arranged marriage. I love an arranged marriage trope. So I have a couple options. I was gonna try to find Bunny actually, and I couldn't find it on my shelf to like start it. And I just rearranged my bookshelf and I can't find it.
No.
So
Where did it go?
I have a couple options. I of course have Stalking Jack the Ripper here. So you're gonna want me to read this one, I'm pretty sure. I grabbed Belladonna off my shelf.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm like, it's so good.
Because I'm kind of craving like a fantasy, romantasy kind of thing, and I think Belladonna might fit that, but I don't know.
Oh, totally.
You read
It's
it.
like gothic romance for sure. And it's definitely
Yeah.
like a good time to read it, like fall vibes.
Okay, perfect. I also just got another book from Fairy Loot, so this is kind of a spoiler for the most recent
Okay,
one.
I haven't opened one yet, so go ahead.
Do you want me to show you it then?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so the book is The Dagger and the Flame by this one. And,
wait, is it YA?
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't see it anyway. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, beautiful. I want to read this one because the audiobook is narrated by Freddie Carter, who plays Cass in Shadow Zone. So that's...
Now I need to add that on my Libby list. Okay, wait.
Yeah, that's like the only reason. Like, I didn't know anything about it, and then I saw the audiobook is narrated by him, and I was like...
So what's the premise?
A deadly game of revenge is what the back says.
Okay, yeah, I'm reading it on here.
Yeah, I don't actually know what it's about.
Rival
The front cover has her holding a knife to his throat, so we love that. But yeah.
It says they're rival assassins and they're in a deadly game of revenge. It kind of gives you a little bit like Night Circus vibes.
It says enemies to lovers romantasy. So
hopefully it's like written well. I've struggled recently with like, I know romantasy is being pushed out like crazy, and I feel like the writing has really taken a hit. Like I know someone had briefly mentioned that, and then the last couple of romantasies that are new that I tried, I was like, oh, this is what they mean. Like the writing isn't the best.
Yeah, I feel that. I read one recently that was like that. The writing was really messed up. Like the quotes didn't even like have quotation marks around it, and it was a fairy loot. What was it? It
And it was like
was
a finished book,
yeah, it was what
like
was it
not an
called? A
arc.
Tempest of Magic or something like that. So Fairy Loot put it out before it was actually published. So they did like before the pub date, they had it in their monthly subscription. And I think maybe that messed it up because I was so confused while reading it because whenever they were speaking, there weren't quotation marks around
Ooh,
it. So you had to like, maybe I just got a messed up copy. I don't know. But like, it was hard to figure out what was being said and what wasn't
oh
actually.
gosh. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure if you told them, they would have maybe switched or something.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a fun book to read, but it was like, it was kind of just weird to read. I'm sure if you read like the actual copy now that it would have, hopefully it would be fixed,
Hopefully.
but I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, what is everyone else reading?
I knew you'd be in class. That's why I wasn't sure if you'd be watching or not. We love a supportive boy. Thank you. I just watched Mom Has a Date with a Vampire. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Have you
Mm,
seen it?
mm-mm.
No. I don't think I've ever seen it. Hello.
Hello.
I'll be reading The Wolf Gift by Anne Rice.
Mm.
I don't know that one. Have you heard of that one?
No, but I feel like, okay, I don't know, wolf title, wolf theme. Because mine
Well,
is called like
yeah.
the serpent and the wolf. Oh my gosh, on a side note, how do you feel about like pet names like in a book? Like when he calls her like a little something, you know? Like how like in Fourth Wing, he'll call her like you violent thing, like something like that, you know? How do you
Okay. I love it, but sometimes they're ridiculous. I hate, oh, what is it, from Blood and Ash, the Jennifer L. Trout, where
Oh, okay.
he calls her honeydew, and he like relates like sexual things to honeydew.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
don't. Have you read that series?
I haven't, because I heard like up and down things about it, you know? But I have never run into one that like I really despise, that really like
Mhm.
I cringe every time where I'm like, this is awful. I hate it until the current book I'm reading. Because he calls her like wild one.
Mm.
And it's like
Is
I
it
feel like it
Faye?
could have been cute, but it's the way it's written in the dialogue that just like it just sounds so cringy and it doesn't sound
Yeah.
like it fits very and it sucks because like I love them too. Like I'm okay with them. Like I'm not the type of people that are like, oh, when the MMC gives FMC like some weird nickname to be like bantery and fun, I hate it. I'm like, I don't like I like it, but this one is kind of I'm
Mm.
really not a fan and I hate it every time he does it. I like wince at my page. I'm like, ugh, like stop.
I love it. I there's some like that are just so classic, like Feyre Darling. I love that.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Warner calls her sweetheart in Shatter Me.
Yeah.
And I usually hate the term sweetheart, but when he says it, I'm like, okay.
I need to read that series. I haven't
Oh,
yet.
you should.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm obsessed. I love little nicknames like that though.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But yeah,
I
this
don't
one
know.
is
Maybe not honeydew.
yeah, I mean, I need to I think like I said, I think it's also the dialogue, which is so funny because you would think like you're reading something you can't really feel out the person maybe, but like you can feel
Hmm.
out the personality and the flow of a book and it just doesn't flow well with them. Like I'm like, is he serious or is he like bantery? He can be both, but like pick one and this
One
makes me
second, my
not sound
kitties are
good.
fighting.
It's okay. Okay, Lily said it is a series of 2 books. I am rereading it so I can finally read book 2. How long ago did you read the first one, The Wolf Gift, if you have to reread? Because I feel like that makes sense. Like, I would need to read the first book if it's been a while to read the second book. That makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense.
sorry.
No, you're
I just
good.
heard them growling behind me and I was like,
No, don't fight.
of course they decide to fight right when I start something.
Yeah. About 5 years ago. Then, yeah, I would definitely wanna reread that too. I don't remember probably there's this one like assassin princess book or whatever that I started reading, and I think I stayed stuck in like book 3, and I think I would need to reread some of it to like continue the 8-book series. But I'm okay.
I'm the worst at finishing series. Like, if I learn all out, I have a hard time remembering what the first or the second book had in it to be able to finish the rest of it. So I'm definitely one for rereading. I
Yeah.
almost grabbed Throne of Glass because I was craving that like assassin
Fantasy.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I need to read Assassin's Blade now.
Yeah.
I wanted to
What one are
start.
you on? How many have you read?
I'm seeing the series. I've read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Air of Fire, and now I'm reading Assassin's Blade. Then I'll read
Mm.
Queen of Shadows. I'll tandem read Empire Storms Tower, and then read Kingdom of Ash.
You're gonna
I'm
have to
not
I
ready.
hate tandem reading, so you're gonna have to let me know how that goes for you. When I read
Really?
them, yeah. Well, I read them as they were coming out, so I didn't get the option to tandem read it. Like,
Okay.
I just read them in publication
I
order,
would
and I
die
think it worked great.
yeah, I would die because I heard that like one of them, they're like, okay, I think it was Empire. They said has like a big cliffhanger, so they're like, you might want to read
Yeah.
like Tower first to avoid that. And like people were like telling me like it sucks because then you start over. And so I was like, I am committed to tandem reading. Like I look forward to it.
Cinder, come here.
I don't know what it is about them though that feels like I take forever to read.
Well, yeah, you're reading two giant books
Well,
at the
no,
same
not the
time.
tandem, like just those books in general.
Oh,
I felt like Air of Fire took me forever.
really? I flew
Um,
through Air of Fire. Air of Fire is my favorite. Okay. I love Rowan.
yeah, I enjoy Rowan a lot. But I think like it was because I'm buddy reading this with someone, and I
Mm-hmm.
told her like I just feel like I feel so much that's why I need to like like kind of
Mm-hmm.
stop it. And it's very dense. Like
Yeah.
the context is very dense. So I feel like that's why I kind of have to stop it. And she said the same thing. So I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Cause I mean, like you and I, like we're fantasy readers. We read fantasy books so much that they're
Mm-hmm.
like anywhere from the standard is 400 and something to 500 pages and like up, it's like on a good day, a
Yeah.
short book for us is like less than 400, but it's still in that high 300 range. And
Mm-hmm.
like we fly. So it's not like it was a page thing. I was looking at the page count right now.
Yeah.
I think it was just like she goes through so much in Air of Fire, like her
It's
emotions,
true.
that I was like, oh, I feel a little bit. Oh, 576. Okay, so it was over 5. Okay, I'm not crazy. It was like a long book, but it was also more like the heavy context. I didn't feel like it was long. I felt like it was just dense
It
and
is.
stuff. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
so she
speaking
made
of
me
tropes that
feel.
we love, I love the "Who Did That to You" trope, and that's in that book. That's in Air of Fire.
I know people like really not to give spoilers if you haven't read it. Like you can skip this little part of the stream if you rewatch. But like people were like, "Oh, can you believe how like Kale said it versus how like Rowan said it when they saw?"
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I didn't read Kale saying it like, "Well, what did you do?" I did not read
Mm,
it that way. I read it of him being horrified, thinking like, because he said, "What could you have possibly done?" That's how
yeah.
I read it, and somebody was like, "Oh, that's a good point," and I was like, "Why do you guys just hate?" Like, I did not read it like
People
him
hate
saying
on
like
Kale.
yeah, that they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"What did you do?" And then I broke down some things for my friend who loves Dorian and how, like, he's just as awful in the beginning and, like, Kale is arguably better in the beginning, and she was like, "Okay, let's not
Yeah.
talk about that."
I liked Kale. In like book one, I really liked Kale. Um,
And them dancing, that was so sweet. Like I knew
mhm.
that, like, because I saw someone spoiled it for me when I literally said I was starting book one. They like slid into my DMs and they're like, "Well, I know that." And I was like, "Why would you do that? Like that's awful." So I didn't really commit to any ship. I was just like, because I knew, but I was just like, oh, like I really love, like that was the wholesome scene. Like their dancing scene was
Mhm.
beautiful. Like you can't, and the way she says like I would never change anything. I'm like, I like that's pretty accurate to the character. Like it was so sweet and wholesome and she needed that healing moment that like
Mhm.
I'm not upset. I'm not a Kale hater so far. I hope I don't have to be.
I Kale goes through a journey.
That's what I've
He
heard.
Yeah, yeah. I like him a lot more in the later books.
Yeah,
Like
because I
for
heard,
sure.
like, there's a whole book dedicated from his point of
Yep.
view and that
Tower of
people, like,
Non.
hate it.
People
Don't tell me
hate
what
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear. I was like, "I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know."
Oh, you
But,
don't
like,
want to know? Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear
I
you.
totally
So
said what book it was.
yeah, but I feel like the fact that they give
Whoops.
Dorian so much slack is, like, so shocking to me because all he does is
He's a
literally, like,
prince.
sleep around and
He,
cry and, like, do nothing.
yeah.
Does nothing in, like, Heir of Fire, and, like, I don't know, he does nothing. He's such a brat, and I was like,
He
"Come on, guys."
is.
Like, if you give him grace, is it just because he's, like, the Rhysand blueprint with the blue eyes and dark
Yes.
hair? Because I feel like that's about it, you know?
He's the prince with daddy issues and people love it. Like,
I'm like, y'all need therapy. Like, Kale's out here actually doing stuff. And then I joked with my friend that I
um,
was like, how old were you when you read this? And she was like, oh, like 17. I was like, you had no frontal lobe. So there you go. And she was like, what? Like, so offended.
yeah.
I was like, no frontal lobe. You didn't realize how good of a character Kale actually was.
I so when I read them, I read them as they were coming out, and I hated Manon. I like didn't. I don't know if you have you met Manon yet. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she's
So
an
with
heir of fire.
not, is it Abraxas? Abraxas?
Yeah, yeah. And I hated her. Like I would skim over her chapters because I did not like her.
She's kind of annoying, I guess, like in the beginning, but like she grew on me really fast. I was like, okay, she's clearly a villain, but like she's badass. Like she,
Oh, I think I would love her now. Is the thing.
yeah,
She's like such my vibe now. Like witchy, badass,
she is
cool. And
your
I'm like,
vibe.
yeah, she's my vibe now. But I don't know. I just skipped over her, and now I really need to go back and reread it because she's like one of Gavin's favorite characters, and he just read the whole series, and he's like trying to talk to me about Manon, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
I like her. I like her chapters a lot, and like I really enjoy a world that does really good job at world building in like an exciting way. And so hearing the like really exciting things like about their coven and like every single coven specialty and all that stuff is really interesting. So I
Mhm.
really liked it. Yeah. I'm
Oh
good.
well. Sam,
Hello,
Sam.
hello. I'm
Hi.
look
late.
how cute your makeup looks so good.
I was so
I
Oh,
got
you
Dutch
got
jealous.
Bros.
Oh,
Dutch.
I was just about to say I'm so jealous you got Dutch Rose and then you just show it on screen.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll be so fast. I'll go to the store, I'll get a snack, I'll get some Dutch Bros because I have to film so much today. And then Chloe was like, I'm gonna start, but join when you can. And I was like, there's 2 cars in front of me and they're going so slow.
Okay. Rebels for the win.
It's
Rebels
okay.
during
Get the
filming is the
Dutch.
best.
Yeah, gotta have that
During
caffeine for
filming
the
is
day.
time of day. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're building one like a couple minutes from my house, and I'm really excited.
I'm jealous of
Yeah, the one
everyone.
right across the street from my office is getting like remodeled for the next 6 weeks. And so I'm like,
Oh,
now I have to go so out of my way to pick it
yeah.
up on my days off. And I'm like, it's fine. It'll stop me. It'll save money.
Oh my goodness. We haven't talked about Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny. That
Um.
ending was bizarre.
Oh, you
Yes.
finished it?
Yeah. Yeah, I finished it like a couple days ago, but I was doing
She was screaming at me. She's like, "Can we talk about it?" And I thought that it was an obvious like yes, but she was freaking out about like the smallest thing, and I thought it was so funny because it's not what I expected her to
because I was like,
say.
"Ooh, is he like out here like ooh?" In my head, I was just like protection, like that's
And
not
it was
healthy.
so funny to me. Like out of everything in the book, it's weird and dark, and you're like, this one thing. This is the one thing I need to say.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was like really interesting, and like my theory is definitely like that one character is like the other two characters. I'll say it like that. Yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yes.
Because he was
Yeah.
so weird throughout the entire book. I was like, who is this kid? Like,
Yeah.
he's
No, I
so
do
weird.
agree. But at the same time, ever since she announced that she's gonna do like a
The
sequel or
sequel?
prequel potentially, I'm just like, now I don't know anything.
No, I think so. And like I think it's nice too that I was like maybe there's a greater message, but I got the themes pretty early on because then I did look at a interview she did with someone to talk about it more. And like, yeah, she did say like, yeah, it's about like grad school and like this system and just how messed up and strange it is and, you know, elitist it is and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I understood that. But her concept and the creativity, I thought her point of view on creativity was like really interesting too. Like the balance between like being completely unhinged and not realizing reality and then also being too much in control. Like the bunnies and their drafts. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Like I saw it. So I was like, I
I
wasn't
think what
dumb.
I like about it is authors can write a book and it's intended for whatever like purpose they had it for. But I like when a book can be interpreted into like a bajillion different ways, and it's like it's gonna resonate with different people different ways. And I think that's why I like it as much as I do, because I'm just like, that's cool, and people have a hard time doing that. And so I was like, that's dope.
It is very like an open for interpretation book because there you have a lot of elements in there like boy elements and like female cohort elements and like where you know like it has a lot of those things as well. But it was just hard for me to notice like what message is she trying to say about like men or like or society in that sense. And I didn't really find anything that she was really saying about it. And in her interview she didn't like touch on it at all, so I was like, okay. She wasn't trying to say anything in that sense, but like you could easily look at it and think for yourself, you know. So it was cool.
You're
I was
so
like,
good at
"Do I like
reviewing
this?
books.
Like,
You're
how do
like,
I
I'm
do
an intellect and I read things well.
Yes, that's how I felt. I was like,
I have proper
yay.
thoughts for a book, and I'm like, ugh, half the time I finish a book and I go, good. And then that's it.
You're like, it was a vibe.
Yeah,
And I'm
definitely.
like, what is it saying? Well, if it's a book where it's meant to cause thought, I definitely like take time to critique it because it's like, I think I remember telling you like, oh, I read this one book that was just, it felt like Gossip Girl vibes and it was just like fun or whatever. And I
Oh, The
rated
Art
it,
of Pretend, right?
yes,
Yeah,
because I
that's on
told
my
you to read
TBR
it.
because of you.
Yes, I was like, if you like Bunny, you'll like it. It was just a good time. Like Gossip Girl characters are all awful. None of them are great. None of them develop truly. Like, but it's so like you want to see the disaster. You know, you're like invested, and so that's how I felt in the Art Pretend because like there's absolutely zero growth, and it's like she's awful. Like they're all terrible characters, but it was entertaining, and I gave it like a really high rating for what it was. You know what I mean? Like people
good
might be
time,
like,
yeah.
really, you gave that 5 stars, but like Yellowface, he still had a discourse. I'm like, well, they're trying to do different things. And it's like, did they accomplish what they set out to do? Like, do you want to be like a silly, cute, like romance? You did that really well. Or like, do you want to be this really cultish, crazy book with gory details that like uses that to explain grad school? Like, did you do that well? So it was like a good time. And Chloe was trying to find the book and she can't find it now, but she'll read it.
I was gonna start it today. And then I just rearranged my bookshelf and I do this stupid thing where all the pages are facing out. And I believe it's on one of the bottom like stacks. And I was like, it was 30 minutes before we were gonna start this, and I was like, I'm not going through all those books right now.
You can like dig for it.
I know. I'll find it. I was gonna try to read it, but we'll just read something else now.
You have all of autumn to get to it, really. So
yeah, I will. What are you reading, Sam?
What is she reading? She looks.
What are you reading? I'm
I have
demanding to know.
options. I either need to finish. I need to finish so many things. I have to finish that because.
Do you like it?
For a video. I've been reading this for 2 years.
Really? I loved that book. Like I flew through it.
That's the thing. It's such an easy read. I like most of it. But then I just started reading so many back-to-back Rowan chapters with the people who are just pure evil. And I was like, I'm so sick of this. And so I'm having a hard time picking it up. But I'm not hating it. Like, it's a fast, easy read. I like it. All of my friends love it. I just don't want to pick it up.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Antenora, which is a arc that came out October 1st. So, should finish that too.
Same.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through my arcs. I feel a little bit overwhelmed. And then like I got a message from NetGalley like, remember that title you asked for like 10 months ago? Cool. You have it now. I'm like,
I hate when they do that.
Yeah. I haven't touched NetGalley in a while. Just like, you're there. I'll see it eventually. Right now, I'm going to finish my 2 and then I can go on.
Yeah. But I'm trying to grab the ones that have more of a deadline right now.
Yeah, both of them come out in October. The other one I have is Strange Beast, but that comes out a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Antonora is already out. So like, well, great.
That'll
Crushing
be
it.
good.
It's
I'm in the same
134
boat.
pages, so I shouldn't
Oh,
be struggling this much.
Oh.
I get it though. That was me with another book that I had to message the friend that reached out asking if I could read it. Like, it had themes of like grief during a time where like I had the same grief. So I was like, I read most of it. Okay, then I got sad. I'll finish it later. And it was like less than 200 pages.
Mm-hmm. All my arcs that I have but one are already out. So I get that. Yeah. I just got approved for Ava Reed's new book, which is the only book that isn't out yet that I have.
She has another new book coming out already?
Yeah. Fable for the End of the World. It's supposed to be like Ballad of Songbird meets something else, and it's supposed to be sapphic, I think, romance.
Interesting.
She pumps out
But
books like no
I
one
know.
else.
Like Lady Macbeth just came out, and
Just
I still
came
haven't
out.
read it.
Yeah.
And I also got the arc for that one and didn't read the arc, so I'm trying to read this arc before it actually comes out.
Did you get this one through NetGalley, or was the publisher
Mhm.
like, yay, here's another one?
No, so the publisher sent me 2 versions of Lady Macbeth for some reason.
Oh,
And then I got this one through NetGalley. But yeah.
nice.
But yeah. Mhm. I mean, I not for some reason. I love Ava Reed's like writing,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'll take it, sure.
I have 2 on my shelf, but I have not touched her yet because I know that she deals with like essay a lot in her books. And so I'm like, okay, when I'm in the right headspace, I can start picking them up. But I want to pick all of them up so bad.
You should read, what was it?
Is it
A Study in Drowning.
That's the one that I have on my TBR for this month.
Yeah.
So I have
It's like
3 copies of
Welsh.
it.
Yeah, it does with like Welsh fantasy mythology vibes, but like dark academia. It's like, it's totally my vibe. I adored it. I mean, it had issues for sure. I always state that. There's some like weird, there's some weird prejudice, like
sure, we call it prejudice.
stereotyping, things.
Not prejudice.
Yeah.
That's a nice
okay.
word.
I read an arc last year where they had like a weird obsession with redheads, and they were like ostracized from society and like deemed bad because they had red hair, and I was like, this is wild to have in a book. Like, this feels weird.
I DNF'd like a book like last year because it was a really popular romance Christmas book, like Christmas story with really popular authors. And during the second one, it had like a Native American interest. And the main character was like, well, he's obviously poor because he's from the reservation. And she was like obsessed with him because she had quote unquote, he had like an exotic look.
Oh,
and I was like, this was published
No.
recently. Like, what do you mean? And when I was like, okay, like I can't. Like, this is awful. And I was surprised more people didn't like talk about it. I was like, wow, people just really didn't notice this wording. And so when I looked at the Goodreads review, there were only like a few from surprise, other BIPOC reviewers that were like, in the 21st century, we are not calling Indigenous people exotic anymore. Okay.
Or anyone. Just like don't call people.
Yes,
exotic.
it's insane. And I was just weird. Like, how is, I don't know. Like, it was not a good time.
Hi, Eliza.
Told you she'd be here.
Oh, yep.
All right, I just wanted to dab my nose because it was running, and I didn't want to do that on camera and subject you guys all to that.
How could you?
And the internet forever.
Yeah, right. My allergies have been so bad because of the fires.
Mm-hmm. We're having fires here too.
Just like I thought that we were done, and then
me too.
Like a couple days ago, I was like, "Oh no, this is bad." Great.
Mm-hmm. Great. It was so smoky here. Like for like a whole month, I was dying every time I walked outside.
My coworker got bronchitis because she lives like in rural area, Oregon, but like very close to the fires. She got bronchitis. That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. There was a really bad one that just started like 2 or 3 days ago. I wonder if they have it out yet or not. But I haven't looked into it. I've just been done with fire season.
Yeah, no, I just pretend that it's not happening around me for a little bit until it
Mm-hmm.
affects me again, and then I cry and then move on again.
And then the sky looks like you're in an apocalypse because it's all red
Yeah.
and gross, and yeah.
We've been having the strangest sky things lately. Like Austin sent me photos of the clouds, and they were like dipping. Like they looked so weird. Like the sky was like pressing down on the clouds. So bizarre.
This is scary.
There was like
We live
over
in a
the weekend,
dystopian.
right? Over the weekend, there was a chance to see the aurora borealis. Like it was just, it's been wild lately. It was like the asteroid.
No, I was like looking outside yesterday. I was like, this is so depressing. Like, I was like, I'm only like 20 something. I'm still here, hopefully, for more decades, and we're just gonna burn. That was like my thoughts yesterday.
You know, if I can read
The
as
whole
many
West
books as I
Coast
can
is just
before I
burning
burn.
down.
It really is.
Or whenever they said California would eventually like branch off of the main continental US and like separate because of climate change. So they said like years ago. And with this hurricane stuff, I'm like, this is just all so depressing. Like, I don't know. And it sucks because it's also like companies could have done something about it a long time ago. Like they're the main powerhouse for this. Like, and yet, so.
And yet.
So on that happy note.
Anyways. How long do you guys want the reading sprints timer to be?
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool. I normally do 45, but whatever suits y'all. I have a deep dive video to film, so if I don't pop back in immediately, that's why. I'll set a timer on my phone.
Using reading sprints to be productive. I like it. I thought about editing instead of reading.
You should do that. I think actually you should do that.
Yeah? Because I haven't published a video in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. You could start Booktober. You could do like 15 days of Halloween and just post every day for 15 days.
Do you want me to like die? I think I would.
It's encouragement. It's inspiration.
I don't even know what I would film. Like I would be
tags. So many tags.
So many tags. It would have to be really short videos if I were maybe Sam, next year you're gonna have to remind me like in September and then be like, do this with me. And then if I have enough time, I'll do it. But
I'll probably tell you I plan my entire month in like July or August. That's when I get my ideal schedule and like what kind of videos I want to do.
And then we can convince Joe to do it with us too. Just be like, we're all doing short little clips every single day. We're posting.
Man, it's like a 2-minute video. Like this is the tag
honestly.
Of Chloe and Sam.
And then there's me, and I'm gonna be filming for probably 2 hours, and then I have to edit and upload that video today because I don't have enough time. So,
did like reels count, or does it have to be a video?
I'm counting sprints, so I guess reels could count. It's still like daily.
You're counting sprints. That's funny.
No, I would. The sprints take a long time. Why not?
I'm gonna be live for like 3 hours. That's basically a video.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it gets published on your YouTube too, so like, why not?
It counts.
You know, it does.
That's my cheating this year. Last year I didn't do that, and I failed miserably and missed like multiple days.
I would. I think I can make it like maybe 3 days, and then I would fail.
If I wasn't traveling, I wouldn't have missed a day. But because I was traveling, I was like, "There's no way that I can do everything."
Traveling makes it tough.
My video I filmed for 2.5 hours, and then like at least 20 minutes of the audio got messed up. So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then half of the video was blurry, and I was like, "Great." So I can't use any of it. So
I've trashed a lot of videos because like one thing that bugged me so much. I had a video, one of my earliest videos, I was wearing false eyelashes in it, and I hated how one of my false eyelashes was lifting so much. I trashed the whole video.
Yeah.
So I feel that. I was like, I can't stop staring at this, and ended up tossing the whole video.
Yeah. No, my friend, my IRL friend has a YouTube channel that's like not bookish related, but every once in a while she'll like send me the video on list. She's like, does my wig look okay? Like, does this look bad? Or like, will it pass? Like, is it distracting? And I'm like, nah, you're good. But every once in a while I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure nobody else would have noticed my eyelash, but it was bugging me so much that I was like, trash.
Like, I have to stare at myself editing for 2 hours. I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I will get I'll get a timer going. Hold on. Now I have to figure this out. Give me a second. It's stressful when you're the one doing it.
Are you using the kitty Pomodoro timer or something else?
I'm using Flocus.
Oh, yeah, that one's good too.
Okay.
I don't
I was
pay
like,
for that
should I
one.
not?
No, that one's good. I don't pay for it, so I never get the cute pictures that I want to have, so I get angry.
Oh.
Like, it's so dumb,
See,
but I'm like, I want something
I
cute.
have this one,
Oh, that's nice. That
and
fits your
it's like
vibe.
it's called
Yeah.
Dark Academia.
Yeah.
So I was like,
On theme.
that works. They have a cute little pumpkin one too. I was gonna use, but then I had to pay for it, so I said no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cute ones. Paywall.
Yeah, but there's this one, so we're gonna try it. I just set it for 30. Do you want me to change it? I can change it to 45.
Yeah, it's
Totally
cute.
up to you.
They have a crackling fireplace one.
I don't
Oh my
know
God,
how
wait.
people make theirs off of Canva.
Haha,
what I do.
pumpkin patch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so
I make mine on Canva. They're not like great, but they're not terrible. They're not very
Yeah, because I like to
Canva's not
download
good for like
mine.
editing video stuff. But for just like a photo, it's not so bad.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm working on a Pokemon one for October sprints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't want to switch to 45, so we're just doing
Okay.
30.
If I'm
Hope you don't mind.
a little bit late coming back, it's because I'm in the
No, it's
mid-70s.
okay. You get done what you need to do.
Cool.
You know, I'm gonna read. I'm really tempted to edit, but I'm gonna read because these are reading. You know, not saying you go do what you need to do, but I'm gonna read.
Productivity
So I should
sprints.
edit. Productivity sprints. Yes. Anyways, let's start. Let's start this sprint.
Hi.
Hi. I'm surprised. Hi, Sam. You're back.
I was so confused. I'm like, why can't I hear anything? Because I didn't put my
No.
headphone back in.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Read like 5 pages of a pizza. That is such a mood.
Pizza?
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Sammy. Hi.
Hello!
And we also got. Oh, hold on. My sisters are going crazy in the chat, but I love them. Tiffany. Hi. How did reading go? / video filming.
I did it. I started filming.
Woo.
Woo!
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I got the. I swear this is a cursed video. I filmed the introduction. I felt really good. My energy was high. I was excited. I was just saying stuff. My camera was not connected to the microphone. So
Oh.
so the audio is bad for the first introduction, and then it'll be on. I feel like a
That's
rookie all
okay.
of a sudden.
That's
It
okay.
happens. We'll have those days.
Yeah, just not meant to be.
15 pages of Bride. I actually really liked Bride when I read it.
Same.
I
It
need
was
to read
fun.
it. So
I have
It's a good
Who Can
season
Play
to read it.
on Hoopla right now. So
Oh,
I think that one's a novella, which I'm excited about
Yeah.
because it's all video gamers.
yeah. I read like 30 pages of this book, and then my cats went crazy. So they've been in a mood all day today for some reason. They're feisty. So yeah, that's what I did.
What
How
are you
did
reading
your
today?
reading go? Sorry?
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm reading The Dagger and the Flame.
Oh,
I just started it.
are you liking it?
So the
Okay.
first introductory, there is harm to a cat
Oh,
in
okay.
like the first like 3 pages. So we'll see where it goes from there though.
Okay. Yeah, I picked that one for book of the month, and then Eliza was like, "Ooh, hee hee, it's gonna be a book subscription." I'm like, "Of course you tell me after I ordered it."
Yeah.
And so we'll
I
see.
think
But
it has
yeah,
good
she was like,
potential.
"Yeah."
Like,
Eliza was talking about starting it, and I was like, "Maybe I'll check it out
Yeah.
too." But she didn't like the audiobook, so I was like, "Well,
I'm
Oh,
excited for the audiobook.
no.
I just bought the audiobook because Freddie Carter voices the guy, and that's the guy who plays Kaz, and I'm obsessed with him. But I took
Gotcha.
off the Cinder. I took off the dust jacket, and there's like art on the inside too, and now I'm like,
oh yeah."
I love a pretty book. Sorry.
I understand.
Yeah. Joe, how did your reading go?
I read like 40 pages of the book, which is going good. I have thoughts on this book. And then I went to get like a snack real quick, so I continued the audiobook for Disney High. I'm at like, we're going in depth into Demi Lovato, like Camp Rock, and like all of the dynamics with like Miley and Demi, and you know, like yeah, and Selena and stuff. And so we're like, I'm like 95% through the book, so I have like 5% more, and then I should be good. But this one's like an interesting chapter because I started her Hulu documentary, but I haven't like fully seen an episode, or like not an episode, but like fully watched it. So I'm curious. Like I like putting all the pieces together because I read like Jeanette McCurdy's book, and then I watched the Nickelodeon documentary and all this stuff, which I know Nick and Disney are separate, but I still feel like they rivaled for so long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the
Like,
same.
yeah, like it overlaps. So
Doesn't-
yeah, because I was speaking to the author about Disney High and saying like, as I was reading her book, I just kept connecting like all these other things and all the other podcasts, because you know so many people have been on podcasts and like interviews, like Allison Stone about Camp Rock, and like, you know, Raven Simone, like, so, and she does reference some of their podcasts too, and like Cole Sprouse on like Who's Your Daddy or Call Your Daddy or whatever. So that was like, it's been an interesting read with like knowing all those other podcasts and stuff as well. So
I mean, I really like Jeanette McCurdy's book. Like, and I don't like typically biographies. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like their memoirs and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was like really sad. It's also really interesting to hear all these different perspectives, but I feel like I liked more who was it? I think it was Cole Sprouse, who was adamantly like just bluntly said like there was definitely a huge bias between guy stars and like female stars, and talked about like seeing his co-stars like go through awful things, like Miley go through being chased down and like, you know, like all of them versus them being able to like just be whatever. And he's like, so definitely different experiences, and like I don't think we can just speak for all, especially for the women in the group. And I was like, good for you. That's very true. So and she touches on that in the book as well, you know, because of how executives talk to like the girls on set versus like the guys. Yeah. And then I just finished a chapter about the Jonas brothers and their purity rings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a wild time.
Liking Bride, that's good. I've heard controversial things about I get why people don't like it too.
Yeah.
But it is a fun read.
It's one of those things, like, it's a Ali Hazelwood rom-com with her first ever fantasy plot. Like, I don't know what you expected from it. Like, if you were thinking it was like perfect literature, it's like no, it's a silly haha fun time.
Yep.
I think I need to fix my expectation there, because I was definitely expecting more pair romance, and then a lot of people were like, it's very rom-com and it's kind of silly and ridiculous sometimes. So I was like, okay, this is probably not what I was like expecting then.
Yeah, it's still like classic Ali Hazelwood, but just a fantasy.
I don't think I've ever read her.
Oh my goodness. So her books are stupid, but they're fun. Like
they're like definition popcorn.
Silly time.
Because she didn't write the love quotient, right? Or the kiss quotient, I mean.
No.
Okay.
That was
Helen Kwong,
another one.
I think.
Yeah. And I love that book. She writes Love Hypothesis. She writes Love on the Brain. I just read another one by her. It was, she was the book I read.
Feminist novellas.
Yeah, I brought her book to Disneyland when I did my Disneyland video. I read one of her books because I needed a book that was like so silly that I didn't really have to pay attention to it while I was at Disneyland. But yeah, she has her books are fun, but there's like, you don't need to pay a lot of attention to them.
They're very formulaic, where it's like you're getting the same book every time. It's like kind of like, it's not like a cozy romance, but it's kind of like cozy in the sense of like, you know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
You know everything's like how it's gonna play out. You know what you're getting yourself into. You know that he's gonna be so big and she's gonna be so small.
So small. I hate that trope so much, where he's like, oh, he's just too big for me. I'm like, girl, chill out.
That's my favorite thing about the Love Hypothesis. That's the first one that I read. The girl's like 5'8" in that, and she's like, I'm so small. He makes me feel so small. And I'm like, you're 5'8". That's like average height. That's not small.
That's nice.
It's so funny.
Also, well, the Life Hypothesis is just a Raylo fanfic.
That too.
His name is literally Adam.
His name is Adam, and the cover is Adam Driver. And honestly, I don't mind until it gets to the smutty scenes, and then you're like, oh, but I can't not picture this man, and now I'm uncomfortable because I don't want to associate those two things.
Hi, Nath.
Hello.
This is my first Ali. Oh, that's a good first Ali book, honestly, because it's so different from her other ones, though. Like, because Bride isn't a STEM novel.
Yeah. That's good for me
to know.
That'll be my first Ali book. Like, I wasn't interested in any of the other ones, so I was like, okay, I'm finding my way through romance. I'm finding my way. It doesn't always call out to me, but I'm finding my way.
Don't expect it to be like a fantasy book with like an elaborate plot or anything. It's still like, it's a very like basic, simple plot. It's got enough intrigue to keep you going, but you're really just in it for these. Two.
That's gonna be helpful. Together. Thank you. Otherwise, I would have probably been the people that come out and thought like, okay, this is like 2 stars, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it because the fantasy isn't like, it's not fantasy level where there's like wars and politics and like intense stuff happening. It's very just like,
well, I expected more romance, but I still expected some like Omegaverse in there.
It is.
So
there is
for sure. Like, look up trigger warnings for sure. It's just a silly little romance between a werewolf and a vampire, and I believe it's
you can't think too quickly about it. It is.
Isn't it arranged?
Yeah, it's arranged.
Okay, I've read it. I just don't remember. But yeah.
Arranged marriage. The wolf has like a little sister, and she truly like
Yeah.
is incredible in the whole book. Like I loved her
Yeah.
character, and I
Me
normally
too.
hate kids in books, so take that
Me
how you
too.
will.
Sam.
Sorry, you got to
Bad
put the lip
timing on
gloss
my
on.
part. I'm trying to click on things and they're not working. This is why I shouldn't host reading sprints.
It's your first
Was
time. You'll get better at it.
Yeah.
perfect. Was feeding baby, so I couldn't respond, but maybe I'll give the audiobook another. You should. I mean, I'm just biased because I like Freddie Carter. So
Yeah.
Eliza's also like problematic because she doesn't really listen to a lot of audiobooks, and so
Oh.
she's more of like a
She's
physical ebook
problematic.
reader. Because I'm always like,
problematic
yeah,
because
no,
you're not reading audiobooks.
I primarily read audiobooks, and so I'm like, yeah, Eliza, I'll read it with you. And she's like physically reading the book, no audiobook, and I'm sitting there like listening to it, keeping pace.
Oh. I
Yes.
literally bought the audiobook during our sprint. I was like, I just want to read this for Freddie Carter. Also, he's
That's
dark
fair.
and he's a dark, tall, handsome assassin, and I'm like, okay.
I know
I
when she told
guess.
me like Freddie was the one narrating, I batted the hold on my Libby. I was like, I don't even know
Did
what
you?
this book is, but like I have it on hold now. Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait. It sucks though because
That's what
all
got
of
me
the books
too.
I've been like excited to read are coming out more and more now, and I'm like having to put them off because I'm
Yeah.
trying to read some arcs and stuff, and we'll find the balance. We'll find the balance.
We'll get there. Oh, you should read her other books. I think her other books are fun, but they're good for when you just need, like, I feel like they're good when you're in a reading slump. Allie Hazelwood books are like, I don't know, they're
Absolutely.
good get you out of slump books.
Yeah, they're just like quick, easy reads. You don't have to think too critically or hard about anything.
Mhm.
She has like the novella series, which is just easy to fly through.
Yep.
But yeah,
I've read
might
most
do
of the
that.
novellas.
I might
I
actually ask
haven't
for
read
a
Love
novella Rex.
Theoretically.
Like I think Sam, wouldn't you know like some good novellas are like hard because I really enjoyed a few novellas I read this year, like the Night Guests and stuff. That
That's
like
on my TBR this month for Kayla's
okay,
book
you
club.
gotta
I'm
let
so
me know what you
excited.
think. I think it
I
was
will.
good. Like she did great for the short amount of time you have to make. Like novellas are harder than people think. And so I really enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed one from Beckman, even though like I was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was so sad.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I want to read some more to kind of help me feel like I'm reading a lot.
Yeah, no.
I think she
Novellas
has
really.
a set of 3.
Yeah, so she
right?
has the STEMinist novellas, which there's
Mhm.
3 of those. And they're like a friend of 3 trio girlfriends that are all close.
I think I read the first one. I just don't remember it.
They're not like standout books. They're not fantastic by any means, but I didn't like I had a hee fun time with them where I was just like, okay, yeah, like what if you got stuck in an elevator with a guy?
That was
What
it,
would
yeah.
happen? But then she has her new release, which is a novella, which is Two Can Play, and they're like video gamers, and I don't know anything more than that, but I like the cover.
She has cute covers.
She does.
Like, yeah, I know a lot of people hate the cartoon like covers or like the
I will take it
cutesy
over
covers.
abs
I
any
love
day.
them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love them.
But like
I
also
honestly
if I
love
could
the
do
cover for
art,
Bride.
it'd be this. Yeah, I have the Owl Crate special edition for Bride, and it's so good. So
For
good.
which one?
Bride.
Oh, I do too. You know, originally when I unboxed it, I think you can see it in a video. I was like not happy. I was not happy with it. And then I saw I had a reverse dust jacket and I was like, this. I was like, this is what I wanted. And so I think now I have the cover, like the reverse dust jacket instead of like that one. Are you gonna show it, Sam's?
Oh, I could go get it. My dog was making a noise, and I was like, "If you knock
Sorry,
my camera
I thought you
over,
went
I
to the one
swear."
for- I don't even know where I have it,
I
but
can get it.
that the Lady Macbeth one too. Like I love the other side of the Owl Crate Lady Macbeth a lot.
I didn't realize it had another side.
Yeah.
I just got it. Hold on. I gotta go look. Okay, I'll look soon. Hold on. I'm like tempted to go grab it, but
Yeah, I might ask people for novella because I just feel like it's a nice little palate cleanser too. It's just like a good time. So I might post on there.
She stole my chair.
Oh yeah.
But the inside.
I don't have this one. It's so cute. Oh,
So you see, that's where I was like, what is this book? And then
It's a weird
yeah.
vibe for sure.
Yeah.
This
and
is
then like,
the,
wait, show the dust jacket. I'm like, that's how it came.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, this
That
is
was
a
the
weird vibe.
cover.
That's why I
And
have
then
this
I
side.
like that. I was like, I wanted
Yeah.
that. I did not want, and I kind of felt like at that point I should have just gotten the original.
Ooh,
Oh,
hot. I like it. Yeah, it's
I'm
a
gonna get you the
time.
Macbeth one. Hold on, because I thought that was the most beautiful book I've gotten. I've unboxed this last time.
Oh my goodness. I have the Owl Crate, but I didn't get any other one.
I have too many. I think you can
I feel
see
that.
my stack right here that I have to unbox.
Liza loved Bride too. See, I feel like a lot of people really liked Bride. But
Yeah, I think if you have your expectations tamed for it, where you're just like, okay, it's
yeah.
not going to be like a high political intrigue with like surprising twists all the way around. I think like
Mhm.
you can go into it for fun.
I know Owl Crate books are beautiful because you had this cover, right?
That's so
Like
pretty.
the, which is freaking gorgeous. But I thought like the reverse is so stunning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just very like watercolor feel.
I
Oh.
love it.
That's pretty. That's so pretty.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. And I was just like, the
I mean,
art
that's
is,
sorry.
it's okay.
Did you
Because
get the
even the art
pre-order
inside, like, tell me
art
that's
for
not
it?
gorgeous. And so it kind of keeps that same theme.
Yeah. That's nice.
We love stenciled edges. So I just thought that was so pretty that I was like, I wanna use the reverse. Like they're both so pretty. I've never had one where like I love both sides so much because I think they're both gorgeous. And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Like the embellishments are gorgeous. And then the other side, like the art is gorgeous. It looks like an oil painting or like, I don't know, when people would paint like Joan of Arc or something. You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking
I
about?
love
Like,
that kind of. Well, did
that's
you get the pre-order print that Ava Reed did? Because I think it might have been this, or it's a very similar artist. The pre-order print was like that watercolor, very like that aesthetic.
like oil type. I don't know. I'm like
Mhm.
oil painting type of feel.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I also love Owl Crate's like signature pages. It's like my favorite. I'm like not sponsored. I should be though.
Would love to. I think they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Sponsoring
I
people.
remember like years ago they used to send boxes for free, but I think they stopped doing that.
I haven't seen them open up their forum for like influencers lately. Usually they open them every season, and now I just don't see them announce it at all.
They're probably just big enough now that they don't need to.
They are pretty big.
Yeah, I think they get enough free publicity because like channels like mine where it's like, all right, every month, let me show you what's inside.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost 200 pages in, and I started yesterday afternoon. Yeah, Bride, you go through fast.
I read it in one sitting for a book club discussion. It's 400 pages.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure I read it on a plane, like, and I didn't stop reading it. I finished. It was actually okay. It was on the airport back from Orange County, and I just finished the Sarah J. Maas third in the Crescent City, and I hated it. And I was like, I need another book I can't think about this book. I hated it so much. And so I like went to the airport bookstore and just bought whatever I could find, and Bride was what I found.
I love that.
And I loved it. Yeah, and it was so much better than the third Sarah J. Maas book. Oh my goodness, I hated that book. Anyways.
And this is why I'm so scared. I have the first 2 books in that series, but because I haven't really read a lot of Sarah J. Maas, I'm slowly making my way through Throne of Glass.
You have to read ACOTAR first.
Yeah,
so
and
you know.
that's my plan is Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, and then I'll get into Crescent City. But everyone hated the 3rd book except for Eliza, and so I'm like, I don't know if I really want to read this.
For
Is it
Crescent?
really worth it? Yeah.
I hated it. Yeah. And I was like, I need a new book. I can't think about this book.
That's like people hating the novella for ACOTAR, and it's the one that I like the most.
I like the novella. It's just a fluffy nonsense. I love it.
It's so sweet, but a lot of people were like, I can see how you would feel as it's releasing, that you would hate that book. But for me, I was like, they're all ridiculous anyway, so this is fine. This is exactly what I expected.
Let's see. I've started with this one because I'm participating in a lot of readathons. Yeah. Allie Hazelwood gets a lot of prompts done, I'm sure. Two Can Play is Two Can Play the gamer novella that she did?
Yeah. I think it's like just came out. I could be wrong that it was a novella, but I thought it was when I got it. I got it on Hoopla and then like didn't think about it since. I just like checked it out and then walked away.
Walked away.
But yeah, I have a couple novellas that I want to get to this month that I'm excited for.
Is that the one where she like had people vote on what she wanted the cover to be?
Probably.
I saw something
It's
like
like
that. I
these
thought
two
it was
like
cool.
gamer boys and girls. Looks very like neon.
Yeah, yep. I think she like had fans vote on what the cover would be.
That's
which I
fun.
think is pretty cool.
Good job.
I hated it.
You were, like,
Crescent
vlogging
City was
it,
still
weren't
at
you?
time. Yeah,
In
I
Eliza's
vlogged
defense,
it.
she did not like it either for a very long time. It wasn't until like the second half or the end where she was like, actually, I'm crying and I love it. But she didn't like it at first.
I think there's too much fan service in it. And like not
Mhm.
good fan service, you know?
Fan service?
Yeah, like she wrote a lot of
Writing
it
for the audience.
writing
rather
for
than-
the fans instead of like actually what happened in the with the plot in the world. Like
Interesting.
there's a lot of really stupid things. Without spoiling, there's a bean that made me so pissed. I was like, when you guys get the you'll know the
Okay.
bean. But
I'll hit you up in like 5 years when I get to it.
Right?
and you're just gonna be like this stupid bean. It made me furious. Like I went to my sister and my boyfriend and we're like standing in our kitchen at midnight and I'm just ranting to them about this stupid bean. It's the worst plot device like ever.
Okay.
so funny.
We'll have to see. I
Anyways.
feel like at this point she's also like, I know who I am and I can do what I want, you know? And people will still buy my
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. For sure, but I felt there was just a lot, and like I don't want to spoil anything about it, but there's just a lot of like things that didn't need to happen or like plot holes that happened, and I'm like, she
Ugh.
just did this because her fans wanted it.
That would
Like,
annoy me, yeah. Okay, I guess we'll
yeah,
see because I'm definitely just enjoying because I feel like out of everything, I've been enjoying Throne of Glass the most, making my way
yeah.
through the Massverse. And I don't fully look forward to Crescent City, but I also want Croissant City, but I also want to
Croissant
know what
City.
happened. That's what I call it because I'm always like calling her names like ridiculous,
Oh, I love it.
ridiculous things. But yeah, but I look forward to kind of how it all ties together because I heard it kind of does without like any
Mhm.
spoilers. I've been like, it's been nice because I've been asking friends who love the series, like, please tell me enough, but don't like spoil anything. They've like really protected me. So I'm like, thank
Mhm.
you, and I'll get there.
Mhm.
I don't know
Just
why
wait
I'm
till they
doing
get to
this.
the bean. It's so stupid.
I feel like I should go watch Carrie's. See, I've seen the first video for Crescent City, like the first book. Carrie Can Read, she did like a deep dive explaining the
Mhm.
plots and everything. So I know the entire first book, like what happened. So I
It's
feel like I
rough.
should watch the third one just so I know.
I could
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I did a vlog for it because we did like we went to like one of the midnight releases, and then I was at Disneyland while I was reading it too. So I was like, I might as well turn my Disney vlog into like a reading
Stop
vlog
eating
too and
it.
like read this. And yeah, I was so mad. I remember sitting in like the hotel laundry room at like because it was flash flooding in California. Like we're drying all our clothes out there at like 2 a.m. reading this stupid book, and I'm just pissed off in the laundry room by myself in the hotel room. I'm like, this is the worst thing, but
Oh, no.
whatever.
Well, I'll have that to look forward to now.
Well, and the first book is so dry too. Like it's like 80% world building, it feels like. So it's just
Because I
like
heard it's kind of tough to follow, which was crazy to
Mhm.
hear people say that because you're like SJM fans are also high fantasy readers in
Mhm.
general for the most part. You don't think so?
I do.
Well, at least my
choose
friends.
I
revenge.
think that there's like a Venn diagram of like high fantasy readers and like normal like
It's
like
if you're
normal like
still
fantasy,
here.
like people who like YA, people who like just classic fantasy versus like epic high like into
Yeah.
fantasy. And then there's like overlap where it's like Sarah J. Maas fans. But I wouldn't say that like
Yeah.
Sarah J. Maas is like high fantasy.
Well, she's not like high fantasy, but she is more than your typical like romanticities. Like she
Girl, I
goes
don't
in
think you've read enough
deeper.
romanticies.
Yeah. Well, and Throne of Glass is, I think, is a really good example of something she can do plot right. She can do
Yeah.
really well, and I think she's just for Crescent City. that series, I think she went too heavy on pleasing the fans instead of focusing on the plot kind of thing. Because I think Throne of Glass is great. Like, it's just, I mean, I feel the same way about Silver Flames too, though. Like, I wasn't a fan of Silver Flames, but
I was not
Yeah, I'm not looking
either.
forward to that one.
I had
a lot
beef.
of people loved
I
it
still
though.
have
A
beef.
lot of people love it.
I can
Yeah.
see why they do. I just like it's so funny. I critique that character so much still that I'm like, okay, cool, but she still didn't say sorry. At the end of it all, like, she still didn't say sorry. Like, still did not say sorry for a lot. And I also think the argument of like, oh, people are mad that like the group locked her up, you know, like in a house after going through her stuff is so ridiculous too, because I was like, she's literally like binging on alcohol and like killing herself. So what do you mean? Like, you're mad that they gave her rehab, like what you would normally give someone that you actually care about when they're like self-harming for that long? Like,
yeah. Hi, Daphne. Sorry.
Hi, Daphne.
I'm like way behind all these messages. To Crescent City, which is City of Gods and Monsters. I've heard City of Gods and Monsters is similar to. I've heard that.
She's really
like
enjoying
better.
it. Now I feel like I need to get it because I don't think I own it.
I don't either. I've seen it a lot. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, it came out in 22, so I'm like, okay, I should get on that.
Let's see. A lot of people, Silver Flames was their favorite though. So like, I'm definitely in, or me and Joanna, I guess, are in the minority on this one.
I'm also technically in the minority because I know what happens in the whole like stairs thing. I just like don't get it. It's just like, why do you have to be so repetitive?
It is repetitive.
Don't have to be long. That's what I loved about, like, I'm only on the second Throne of Glass, but like the books start small and then get bigger slowly, whereas ACOTAR is just massive and it's like, girl, I don't need to read this many pages.
The first one's shorter, I think. Isn't ACOTAR only like 300 pages? The second one's a lot, but the second one's the best.
That was closer to like 450 or something crazy.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I remember Crescent City. It took 400 pages for me to get into Crescent City. Like,
Court of Thorns and Roses is 419. I just checked. I like how it's on there. My rating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think I'm gonna actually love ACOTAR when I get to it. I think I'm like, I've read enough books now at this point, especially that like I know what to expect with it. But I think I'll have fun and I'm gonna know all of the things and I'll be like, hee, these are what people talk about all the time. How cool.
Yeah. Good soup.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The soup.
Made me cry.
I love. Okay, Akimoff is like my favorite sequel book. Like, sequels are never done right, I feel like, but Akimoff was done so right.
Well, that's because someone who loves the world told me that she originally wrote A Court of Mist and Fury first, and then her publishers were like, you need more of a prequel, and so that's why ACOTAR reads so differently. But she just said it like, it reads different. And I was like, no, it reads so bad. Like, that's what you meant to say, because the writing is like, how is this the same author, honestly? And so that made more sense, but I still didn't give it mercy because I was like, you guys still decided to publish this. I'm just kidding. You're like, damn, girl. It's just like, the dialogue is so ridiculous. And like, I love how a lot of people recently brought this up again about the riddle. There's a riddle in there, Sam. And
I know. I know.
I remember when I first read it and I thought like I had an answer and I was like, but there's no way. And I had that same reaction too. I was like, there's no way that's the answer, because people have talked crazy about this and have said that like in a SJM novel, the last 10% is like crazy. So I was like, okay, it must be something more difficult. Like, I'm not usually great at riddles either. And when I got the stupid answer, I was just like so mad. I was sitting there like, are you serious? Like, this is so ridiculous. And the worm, like the Texan bullworm from SpongeBob running around, I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't.
Have you read Clockwork Princess?
No, isn't that Cassandra?
Yeah. So there's a worm in Clockwork Princess, and I picture the SpongeBob worm when it comes up. But yeah, I also the thing about the last 10% about ACOTAR, I think it's less the riddle that people are shook by and more of like other things.
The decisions made.
Yeah, like especially like the last like chapter or two where she talks to Rhysand the last time before he goes, like stuff like that.
Yeah, he was the only character I liked in that book. I
Well,
was like,
yeah.
I like this guy. I was like, he feels more dimensional, and I
And
still
then there's
stand
girls who
by.
got like Tamlin tattooed on them and then read the second book and were so mad about it.
See,
And
that's
I
why I won't
still,
get a tattoo before the series finished.
yeah, I still stand by like Nesta never actually being a character she like thought of or really wanted, because she wrote her
Mhm.
awfully. Like she fully developed her character and fleshed it out in the first book as being this awful person that you don't
Mm.
really see. And I feel like later on she decided to explore her more and like changed. And like of people who loved it have said like, oh yeah, I think I agree with that. That like she decided, oh, this is a character we're actually going to end up exploring more.
I think people loved her, and that's why. It was like fan service. I feel like.
Yeah, I totally
Well,
think that.
also, go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
just gonna say, like, I agree with you on that. Like, I think the series ended, but she was like, "Got to get that bag," and this is how: is people are gonna keep tuning into the series, no matter how bad it
Mhm.
could get.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Originally she planned. I don't think this is a spoiler. I won't say what else, but you know the three wardrobes with like the three different things that Feyre
Yeah.
paints. Nesta's is the flames. So originally Lucian and Nesta were supposed to be mates, and well, that doesn't happen. But like she totally like changed everything in her plotting.
Oh yeah, I think she also said when she
Mhm.
tried writing them, it didn't work, and that's why. And she brought it
Mhm.
up again with a recent book. That's why I really don't think Asriel and Elaine are gonna end up or whatever. That was a horrible,
I
because I
don't
love
want them to.
Asriel. I don't
I
want
don't
them
want
to.
them to.
I love Asriel so much, and when I read that chapter, I was cringing because I was like, she makes him sound like an F boy. That's gross. Like it just
Mhm.
so entitled. I was like, you just ruined Asriel for me. Like, thank you very
Yeah.
much. And a lot of people I realized were also mad about it too. And I was like, this is just not what you made Az seem like. For him to be like, well,
He's
it's the
just a
other
little
brothers.
playboy.
Yeah, but like in a gross way. Like, cause so is
Yes.
Cassian and stuff, but he doesn't feel like that sleazy. Like he felt
Mhm.
sleazy. That's what he felt like that guy that's like, oh, I get it. I'm just like too ugly for you and stuff. Like just like we don't want you. He felt so sleaze bag in that
Mhm.
chapter, and I was so mad. I was like, how dare you
I want
ruin
him
it.
to be with what's her face? Gwen? Is
Gwen?
that her name? Yeah. Like, I don't want him and Elaine. I don't want the stupid trope with the three sisters end up with the three brothers. Like, I don't want that.
You know what my theory was? I was like, everyone keeps saying Asriel is like a different creature. Like everyone keeps saying like he's
Mm-hmm.
different. He's just bred there. It's different. It's different. And he's scared he'll never find like a mate. And part of me is like, what if part of him accepting like who he is, because I know he feels so low, is like he can't actually find a mate. Like he can't have that mate bond because he is different and stuff. And so he
Mm-hmm.
gets the power of choice.
Yeah.
not
I
like the
don't
other
know.
boys.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
Sam, don't buy it. I'm sure you saw that, but don't buy it. Just don't.
This happens every like holiday-ish. Like it's their birthday month. Our friend anniversary was a couple months ago, and then, like for Christmas we'll
aw.
usually send stuff. And it every time it's like, hey, do you have this? Do you have this book? Do you have this book? No, you haven't. Okay, I won't give you that book. It's just every time it's like, yeah. We're bad at keeping track of the books that we own, and so when it comes to getting gifts, because some people are bad at updating their wish list. It's not me.
Hi Tiffy. I know you can't hear him, but hi. I also ship them. Yeah. Yep. I want them to be together. So many people ship him and Elaine, and I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
That's
I
awful.
honestly, I love Lucian, and I want Lucian to get a happy ending. So
I don't know why people hate on Lucian so much. I mean, I can see why, honestly, because he is an enabler and stuff, but he's also the only one that was like actually out there helping. And pretty much in the book, it tells you he could see the glamour and like still didn't say anything. But I know he's also selfish because he wants his mate. Like it's a mix. And like I mean, she's even making me like Eris, and that says a lot.
Yeah. I want more about the Autumn Court. And you kind of get a little bit more. Okay, hold on. I'm trying. Never mind. Not going to say that because spoilers. Never mind.
Have you read An Enchantment of Ravens?
No,
I have.
but I've heard good things.
That like feels very autumnal fae.
Yes.
With like the courts and stuff too. But
Isn't she
that
also
was-
a painter?
yeah, that was my
Mhm.
first Fae book that I ever read.
That's a good one.
It's a good
It's
like
short
step your
and
toes
simple.
into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
She paints.
People
and
loved it.
The setting is pretty.
Yeah. The premise is like she paints a portrait of like a prince and it's too real that the prince is like,
Yeah, he's like, how dare you see my
I'm
inner
gonna
emotions?
get you. Yeah. We love it. We love a territorial fave.
Oh yeah.
I hate it. Oh my god. We were talking about Rowan earlier, which I don't think you've met Rowan yet. He's in Throne of Glass, but he's like one of my favorite characters. and
No,
he's
she
totally
hasn't.
that vibe.
Because if she's in book 2, she won't meet him until, if you're doing
Three.
like the order, you won't meet him till Heir of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 3rd book
Mm-hmm.
after the short novella stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically like the 4th, but actually the 3rd.
The way that I'm reading it, it's the 4th. Because I
Okay.
read in publication order.
Yep.
Authors intended it.
I read it in publication.
Not the
order
way
too.
she intended it. I will fight. It's literally not the way
No.
she intended it. So I'm reading it out of order.
No,
Yes.
it's how she intended it. Because she
Liza?
wrote them that way. No, she's
No, they published in a way she didn't want it to be
Mm.
published.
Because yeah, it
Did
feels
they
like
really?
the novellas are just going back to, because the way that I see it is people were like, wow, she's such a badass, she's so good at assassinating, and so then she wrote the short stories to be like, no, look at her past, look, she used to be really good.
I haven't read Assassin's Blade. That's gonna be number 4 for me. So I'm gonna
Gotcha.
read that next. Because I started with Throne of Glass directly.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. I have Crown of Midnight next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, same. I was trying to figure out what HOF was.
No,
Sorry.
Same. I looked at that for a while and I
Sorry.
was like,
Honestly,
sitting here
I
like-
can kind of see why. I'm like, Heir of Fire was like really beautiful and kind of reminded me of A Court of Silver Flame. So I can see why it's your favorite, because it has this pivotal moment for a character that hates herself. But I like Aileen way better than I like Nesta in that sense. And I felt like Aileen had a more growth than Nesta did. It was weird. It still felt very forced on her. So I can see why Heir of Fire is like your favorite.
It's my favorite too. I love her. There's a lot of growth in that one, but it feels
Exactly.
natural. It feels more natural. It feels more like it's different from Silver Flames. Like, I don't know. I'm trying not to spoil anything because Sam, it's so good. Like, Heir of Fire is like my favorite one, and I've been really
with it
Okay.
soon. It's
Okay.
one of those series that like because the way that I have to read it, annotate them, and then I'm sending them to Eliza, who's reading and annotating, and then she's sending it to Daphne.
that's so cute.
Yeah, and then Daphne's
It's
gonna
a
send them
train.
back to me, and so I have to like kind of keep up on it so that I can hold everybody
Mhm.
else accountable into reading it.
Yeah,
But
I want to do an
it's definitely-
annotating train. That sounds so
Let's do it.
fun.
Pick a
But
book or
my-
series. Let's do it.
Okay, my annotations are so stupid. Okay,
That's fine.
like
Same. I don't know how to
perfect.
annotate anyway. So
perfect.
that's what I do.
I'm
is
like,
I just put it. I actually have a tally in the first Throne of Glass. I kept points of the 3 characters that I was like, these are the 3 potential love interests. I know there's only 2. I put the girl in there, but I tallied each like pro and con that they had. So if they did something I didn't like, I docked them a point, and if they did something I like, I gave them a point. And
I
then at the
love
end,
that.
I tallied who I thought like was the best.
Who won?
I think it was Kale, but honestly,
Oh,
I don't remember who the girl is, which is bad on me. But there was a
Nehemia?
girl, maybe, who I was like,
Nehemia.
she's hot and I like her. She's
Mhm,
they become like
mhm.
friends and stuff. And I
Yeah.
put her in the running once we met her, and she's my ship. But I know that's not gonna happen. But
Yeah. I love
I
Kale.
early Sarah J. Maas books have very little queer representation. Very little.
Yeah.
I
mean,
get
she
it
doesn't
in
have-
some of the later
But she
ones.
continues to like kill off and like
she doesn't really have representation, period, in any
BIPOC
of her books.
characters through the ringer
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Go to
starting
Sarah
in
J.
that
Maas
book.
for very white casts, very straight
Yes. Well,
white people.
and when she does have people of color, the fan art for them, like,
Get
artists don't
whitewashed.
represent. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Oh
all
yeah,
whitewashed.
Chloe and I had like a
Reese?
huge
Yeah.
argument about this. Not argument,
All
but
the bad boys
we
are
ranted
Yeah.
because I was so sick of like
Sorry.
authors whitewashing their art, and like she's
Mhm.
so like. Here's the thing though, like there's one thing if an artist makes it right, like whitewashes art. It's another thing when the author and their team license that
Commissions
art.
it?
Promotes it.
And
Mhm.
so that to me is like, it makes me mad because I was like, either you're just trying to, that's why I called it like BIPOC baiting. Like you're either just trying to bait people into this or you really stand by it. And that's the one
Mhm.
thing that I give Yaro's huge credit for, because she really gets angry when people are fan casting Zayden like white or like make the author, the art white.
She made him very ambiguously colored in the books. I
She
understand why people
did.
whitewashed
That
him
was,
because she
I
didn't
was,
like blatantly say like, yeah, this is a man of color. She basically was like, she's like, he's tawny skin, so I guess like that
The
counts, right?
tawny is
And
the
then,
new like
yeah, that's like the
yes.
only
term.
But then
color of a man.
throughout the thing, she kept saying like his dark skin or bronze skin, but I didn't think he was straight up like probably
Yeah,
black.
he's not like a pasty guy.
Yeah.
but
No, the whiteness.
But yeah.
But I always pictured him like either, I was like, he sounds like he could be Latinx, he sounds like he could be like Middle Eastern. I did not picture black right away until she started like reposting him.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
really deep toned. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you
It's same with like curvy female characters constantly getting like they just don't have the
Mhm.
curves in fan art. I'm like, or they're just like plus size characters being shown as skinny, and I'm like, what's the point of having this representation in your book if the commission's art and the licensed art don't represent it? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
are you just doing it for like the visual eye? Like people are gonna like this art better this way? Then that's problematic.
Yeah. The way that I see it is like a lot of authors are like, look, there's a black person in my book, therefore I'm being diverse and I get brownie points for that. And it's like, okay, no, that's not how that works. Like, if you can't make it naturally happen and then stand by that for fan art and so on and so forth, like you're not actually doing anything.
And like I said, she like killed off her only like black character in Throne.
Yeah. That's why I won't read Taylor
There
Jenkins
really
Reid.
isn't any
I won't
other.
read her. Because
I haven't read anything by her.
Don't. She writes Latin X people weird.
Who?
Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh.
She writes Latin people really freaking weird, and the only like queer character in her book is like the villain who's also a black man. It's just like it's just weird.
I've only read Daisy Jones, which I like.
I don't think that one's quite as problematic.
Like I think their drummer is hinted as being Latinx, but that's it. Like
yeah, it's more like the other like more like women's lit fic stuff. I think. I know the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's like the big one, where it's like.
Oh, I heard people rave about that book.
That was her?
Like rave.
People love that book.
Wait,
and
was
the
that
twist
her?
is weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like another Latinx author.
No, she just likes to really write Latinx people in her books, but she is a white woman.
That is crazy.
That's just like her weird little thing. So no, she's on my anti TBR, like anti list of reading, but she's very popular.
Yep. That's okay. One thing I'll give Crescent City credit for is there is a main queer romance in it. Like it's not like a sideline. Yeah, that's like the one thing Crescent City has that I'm like, okay, cool. There is more representation in that series, but like also I hated that series. So
yeah, it's taken Sarah J. Maas a long time to get to that point, and I'm glad that she's slowly doing it. But it's also like
it's not great. It's still
not
it's great.
Like your representation's not like making me feel happy.
No.
I think a great book that just like naturally has a diverse cast and a queer cast that I loved was The Rules for Vanishing by Alice Kate Marshall.
I was just watching your video about that.
Yeah, she writes queer characters because she herself is queer very well, but in like a young adult and adult setting. But like, yeah, she just like naturally had a diverse cast, and I was like, this feels so refreshing. Just people exist in a high school, and it's not just all white people that are the same. I love this cat.
Sorry. Yeah. Give me a second. Okay, hold on. Oh. Don't growl at me. You're not allowed to be up there. Okay.
Earlier, my cat was playing with like a dental stick toy, and she just like jumped straight into the air like 5 feet. So funny.
I love it. This kitten has been a menace all day. Like before you came, like I think like 2 minutes into going live, she was attacking my other cat back here, and I had to like break them up. Like she's in a chaotic gremlin mode today, and now she's trying to be sweet.
That's a cat.
It is a cat for sure. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Yes. Yeah. I really wanted to read Daisy Jones and the Six. Like, that's what I really.
I love the audiobook. I enjoyed it.
I've heard less bad things about Daisy Jones and the Six, but I just don't want to support her as an author. So I feel like I'll watch the show if I'm that interested, because it's probably a great visual representation.
I mean, that's how I feel about SJM. Like, she is not for me, and I'm so.
Who is?
She is not for me.
Yeah. But yeah.
Jay Kristoff is also on my list of anti-reads. Jay Kristoff.
Which sucks because I really want to read Nevernight. But I won't. Yeah. I also would like to read Empire of the Vampire, but I won't.
It was huge, but then when I heard more about the series as he went along, I heard like worse and worse things, and I was like, oh
yeah, God. He kind of just sucks.
He also did something during COVID, which was like the first red flag I saw of him, and then like looked more into it. But like he went on the stage and was like bashing on people who wear masks and like all this like anti-COVID stuff. And I was like in the middle, like in March or like April of 2020, you know, it's just like, oh, okay. But not what led me through my loophole of looking up stuff about him, and like his main character who is 16 and Asian and like fetishized a lot.
Very explicit. Yeah. Eliza, you should get a cat. I'm allergic to cats and I have 3.
Same. I'm allergic.
Dogs and I have 2.
Yeah.
You should get a cat. To their dander.
We have an air filter in our house, and it helps.
Same.
Yeah, but yeah, you do get used to their dander.
Yeah, I live off Claritin during allergy season, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if I touch my cat and then rub my face against her, I'll just go wash my hands after, and then I'm fine usually.
Yeah, or you get a cat that rubs them onto you, like Cinder here. She has no personal space. Yeah, you get used to their dander though, and it gets better.
Yeah,
and they're so cute.
Yeah, they're worth it.
They are. I'm like, I'll suffer for you, sure.
Yeah, we have one cat that's indoor outdoor, and she rolls around in the grass, which I'm also allergic to. And so like touching her in any way and then touching my eyes is like absolutely a disaster for me, but I will never stop.
Yeah. My other cat, Rosie, sleeps on my pillow at night. And I'm not going to stop her. And so whenever I go to bed at night, I'll like go into a little bit of a flare of an allergy attack, and I'm like, it's fine.
Flip it over, switch out the pillowcases.
Yep. Okay, hold on. Girl, I need my hands. He just needs exposure therapy. That is 100%. Yep.
Yes.
There's also like hyperallergenic cats too. If you like, there are breeds that are better, but also like adopt, pounds.
Yeah. But, we rescued the twins, and then we bought our first set of cats out of like a pet store because they take in all the stray kittens and stuff and just fill their entire store with kittens that they get.
Yeah.
Like, I guess donated kittens to them.
Yeah.
But
Rosie, my first cat, was free. Like, she was just at this like guy's house, and his cat had a bunch of kittens, and we got 2 of them, and I mean, she's still going. She's 17 and still going. So, and she's like my favorite little girl on the whole planet.
We have a barn kitty that my sister has that was literally like just a random litter in a barn.
Yeah.
I just took her. She's great.
They found Cinder in like an attic. Like, random cats, they're just the best. They have the best personalities. Cinder is a chaotic demon most of the time, but it's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's angry.
She's
having a morning.
So precious.
Anyways, do we want to do another reading sprint?
I'm down.
Okay. I will, if I can get my arm, hold on. I will start one. Oh my goodness, girl. Okay, hold on. I'll do another 30-minute one.
Hooray.
Okay. There you go. I thought it had a sound on the timer, but it's
cute.
Oh, you can hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear it. It's not making a sound on my end.
Oh.
So enjoy that. I hope you all like the sound, I guess. Did you read?
Yes. I basically am like done. I have 2 minutes left on the epilogue of Disney High. And so it's interesting because this one, it's read by, the audiobook is read by like a child Disney star, previous child star. But the epilogue is basically breaking down like the last bit and like how Disney Channel doesn't get the same views anymore like it used to because of like, you know, social media and like just streaming services and stuff. And
they're also just not good shows. I'll say it. I was at a hotel and I put the Disney Channel on and their shows were bad. I didn't care about them.
Yeah. Well, it was just basically talking about how like it's just not the same like it was in 2010s, you know, like with like Hannah Montana and stuff like that. So it's just it's different. But it does say that like it's definitely pushed out and figured out the formula to pushing out people like Sabrina Carpenter, Jenna Ortega, and like Olivia Rodrigo, which are really big people. Now like they know that pipeline. And so I don't know, it's an interesting epilogue. It sounded magical. It did.
I'm glad you guys like the noise. I can't hear it, so Sam, you
I
read
know because I didn't think mine had
pages?
any, but I think you guys would have told me if you guys heard the timer for mine.
Yeah. I didn't hear one.
Yeah, mine was just downloaded. So
I set a timer on my phone, so I would know.
Hi, Sarah.
I love the dabbing. That's so cute.
Oh yeah,
he's so cute. So yeah, it's cool, and I can't wait. And like she still wrote it so recently that she still touched on like Demi's new Hulu like documentary with the child stars and like all that. So it's kind of cool reading it so modernly, you know, it's like not outdated to our current date, you know?
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean, Selena Gomez got huge from Disney too, and like she's thriving right now, I feel like.
No, she is very much thriving. So because she had a whole chapter on like Wizards of Waverly Place for sure. And then talked about how like there's some child stars who ended up going to like law school and stuff, and then there's child stars who have gone through like traumatic stuff and like they haven't gone through it. So I think it's all like different, like seeing the way Hilary Duff's family was able to handle it versus like other families because they already had wealth and didn't depend on Hilary Duff, like versus other parents like Raven Simone's dad and stuff is like obviously very drastic, you know? Yeah. So it's good. I don't know. I think you should read it.
I want to, I think. I have a hard time reading non-fictional things because I'm like, like I want fantasy, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm the
Did you
same
read,
way.
Sam?
Non-fiction's hard. I continued filming.
Yeah, proud of you.
Another 30 minutes of that done. It's just me popping out every 30 minutes to be like, let me tell you more about this book.
Did your bike work this time?
Yes, I think. I'm like pausing, like I'm starting and stopping a lot. So I'm hoping that everything will be easy to. No, it's not you, it's me. Like I could just do like one like 25-minute take, but instead I'm like, what if I did 3 5-minute takes?
Yeah.
So it's just like me spacing it, which is gonna be so awful for editing, but is like good for now.
All right.
So we're making waves.
Sorry, that was like random. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's called Disney High by Ashley Spencer. It looks like this. And I feel like it's called Disney High because they do talk about like their own like environment feeling like its own high school. Like you still have a lot of high school issues, but then you're also in the Disney machine. So it's like really difficult. Like it's like really interesting. I actually did a ton of research. Like when I messaged, I was like, how did you research all of this? Like across, she did interviews directly with people. So, and some of them wanted to be on record, some of them did not. But then she also pulled from like podcast interviews, like articles she's done in the past, and then documentaries. Like, so it feels like when she says the untold story, and it's like the first official but unofficial like Disney book like this is very accurate. Like she did a ton of research. She talks about wages and like the writers and the producers and the like it goes into everyone, not just the stars. So I think that's an interesting perspective too, because she talks to the writers directly and to the like on site teachers and like, you know, all everybody.
Mm-hmm. I want to read it too. I think I should.
Yeah.
What did I read? I ate a croissant and then I continued reading. Let's see. I got to page 75. So I'm actually going through this book pretty fast. The two love interests just talked for the first time.
Is the writing
Ooh.
good?
Mm.
Okay. I was
It's
asking.
not awful. Like, it's very. It feels YA. Like it feels young adult. There is this moment that made me cringe just a little bit. Like, let me see if I can find it. She's like, it's in the very beginning, so it's not really a spoiler. But she's like waking up, and there's all these like girls surrounding her, just talking about her as she's waking up.
Oh God.
And I'm like, this is very cringy. And they're like, don't worry, she can't hear us. I'm like, she's not dead. She's asleep, and you're talking very loudly right over her bed. Anyways,
So Sam, I was telling Chloe that like some people are saying that since romanticy is blowing up, they've seen it, you know, kind of take a hit in the publishing world, like how poor writing is kind of slipping through just to like get that money, you know? And so when I was reading my last two romanticities and what I'm currently reading, I'm like, yeah, the writing isn't very good. Like it feels like such a promising premise, and then you read it and like the pacing's off and like the scenes just seem like they need to be rearranged, like, you know, just edited better.
Yeah, I know that like what?
Editing for sure. I feel like editing has been a big deal lately.
Yeah, because they're just like, I was like, are we gonna fast fashion this? You know,
Yeah,
I don't
it kind of
think
feels like it.
publish.
I don't think that's so much the problem, because books always get pushed out quickly. Everything is always like romantasy is not new. It just has a new name to it. It's always been a thing. It's the same with like dystopians back in the day. Like Hunger Games blew up, so everybody had to do dystopian, and that was like a wave where the writing was questionable because you're like trying to compare it to something that like was spent years on versus like, oh, this is trying to let me write something within a year or whatever. I think a big issue is just publishers don't know how to allocate their funds, so they're not buying the best of editors. They're not like going through rounds of edits. But even like Kindle Unlimited being as easy as it is, people don't have to go through the same process of like getting published. And a lot of romantasy is KU books that will later get picked up traditionally because they're so popular. And so they're not usually getting, so they're not usually getting like the same rounds of edits that like a normally traditional book might.
Yeah, but that's what you're saying, like the editing. Like we need some editing and there's some rearranging.
Red Tower, I don't know if
I'm
gonna say alleged because I don't know everything, but when they started, it seemed like the only person that was editing the books was the CEO of Red Tower. And so the books weren't really properly edited, and that's why they've had a lot of issues and a lot of duds in the books that they've released. They're pretty because they know that pretty books sell, but they're not like actually investing the money. So if like we were to compare something to fast fashion, I would say it'd be like Red Tower books, but I wouldn't even go so far because like it's not like unsustainable. Like people are just buying pretty books and then reselling them
marketing,
or whatever, but they're not just throwing them away.
Yeah. Book marketing has become a huge thing, like slapping things on the cover that has nothing to do with what the book is about, like stencil edges
titles
and
that
like
make no sense.
Something
like, those aren't the same.
A something of something, you know? There's a ton. The Kingdom of something, like there's a ton of those. I'm currently reading The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. This is the book. I just started it. It's supposed to be an assassins, enemies to lovers, rival romantasy.
Which sounds like so good. And I was telling her
It
like
does.
the book I'm reading has like arranged marriage and like forbidden magic and stuff. And it just sounded so good. And
what book is it?
I'm like, okay.
What's the book?
Yeah, what is it? Because I love arranged marriage.
It's called The Serpent and the Wolf.
By
and like I just noticed, like, because the author posted about it, that it made it to Cosmo. So like Cosmo the magazine and stuff, and
Yeah.
so it's been getting like good reviews.
Oh.
But and I've heard good things about the author, like Raven Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so and Danielle L. Jensen, I read Hurricane Wars. So this book was compared to people who love like Danielle L. Jensen, Thea Guanzon, and Raven Kennedy. And I was like, okay. And it literally is like a marriage meets enemies to lovers in this steamy, thrilling romantasy debut. And it's a debut novel too.
It is debut,
So
yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is so good,
I'm
but like
tempted.
unfortunately, I saw someone review it kind of similarly where they're like, can we get a reason why like certain things happen? And like I feel like the scenes are out of order. Because I felt like if she had just like fixed the order and like polished the writing a bit more, this would have been even better. Like this would have been like really good, you know? So we'll see.
140 reviews. It's not got bad ratings yet for not being out.
Yeah, but I think it's people that just like freaking like love, 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 love. You know, it's just like, you know what I mean?
It's also like, yeah, I made Daphne read Phantasma with Eliza and Daphne doesn't like romantasy, and so she didn't have a good time. It's like, if you're not into like romantasy, if that's not like a genre that works for you, forcing yourself to like those things, it's not gonna work. Like you have to
and I'm so
expect
into
what you're
it.
getting.
You
Like
should read Phantasma.
Okay,
Yes.
I will read it. I'm so
It's
into it. And like literally the first chapter has like her like with a knife at his throat, and it's like a good scene. It's like, yes, give me like right away, start into it. But then the scenes just get a little out, and like even the beginning of this actually has a letter from the editor themselves of how much they like this book, like the senior editor. And I was like, okay, cool, expectations high, you know. So we'll see. I think it's still good. I still I'll share thoughts at the end. I'll share thoughts when I finish reading it, because I'm still in the process of reading it, but it's one of those books you could easily like stay up reading because you're like, I want to see.
And it's not super long.
Huh?
352 pages. I
No,
can't
it's not
stand
super
how
long.
big romantasy books get sometimes.
I literally started on the plane, so I feel like that the fact that I'm almost halfway is like, okay, cool. Like it's a very easy read, and it's like fast enough and interesting enough, but I'll see, because I like to think about it first before I just go off and share, especially when it's debut, and especially when like it does have so much promise that I see in it. It's like kind of hard to be on like a live stream and just like share, you know.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that.
I shame books on live streams more than I do. Like in a video, I'm a little bit more like, these are my proper thoughts. On a live stream, I'm like, this is trash.
Yeah, same. I mean, you heard me go into Crescent City.
Through it. Yeah, like if somebody's gonna sit through this live, they can get the tea. When they're gonna watch a video that's like 30 minutes, yeah, I'll be more concise.
I know, that's why I was like, I gotta be careful on here, because I was like, if it's like raw, not that I would be ever like mean about it or anything, but like I feel like
you can be mean about a book. It's just words on paper. It's not that you're not being mean at the author or to the author or about the author. You're being mean about a book, and that's fine.
I just feel like I don't want people to pick this up thinking it's like really, really good, and then they run into problematic writing. And like I always try to be so honest with like my reviews, because you also want people to trust your reviews, you know? And like, so
you can't trust my reviews. They're not consistent.
Same.
I will read a bad book and say that it is like Lightlark, one of my favorite series. It's
really?
Are you
it's so bad. It's so bad, but I love it. And so,
are
like,
you
it's one of those
serious,
things where,
Sam?
like,
That's so funny that like you write off like Taylor Jenkins Reid and then you're like, yes, Lightlark. Like that's crazy to me.
I mean, she's not like, you know, writing a group of people in a weird way, or like
I would have you rethink that and like really look at reviews and what like people have broken down chapters about that.
I'm not going to say that like it's a good book. I'm not defending that it's a good book. I'm fully aware that it's not good. The writing is bad. The marketing of it was bad.
Have you seen all the marketing stuff? Oh my goodness.
I think what happened is that people ran with this book a little too fast and a little too hard. And the marketing got janky real quick, real fast, where people were so excited for this book. But like people also said that she didn't actually write it and that she's just like a plant in the book industry. And I'm like, no, she writes books. Like this isn't her first
I
book
wouldn't
ever.
go that far.
Yeah, people were like a little bit dramatic about it. And I'm just like, you guys need to chill a little
I
bit,
would
I
just
think.
mean like when people critique the one token kid she has that is everything, even though she marketed it was
Azul.
diverse.
Yeah. I mean,
I would say
she
that
is Colombian, so I think it's not super fair to be like, this person of color didn't make her book diverse enough. And it's like, okay, she had a black gay character, and then the main character herself, I think, is a little bit of a self-insert, maybe. But it's like, yeah, I'm not saying that, but also like I love Azul's character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't read it. I've just seen all the marketing stuff about it. Like, I followed the author for a long time, and I actually had to unfollow her because of all the marketing
I don't
stuff.
follow authors. I don't want
I'm
them to know
about
that
to get to that point. I'm about to get to that point. But
There's
I'm
very
like...
few.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a fine line, you guys. Like, what's the fine line between I can enjoy this book, but also like the author brings in problematic stuff, you know? Like that's
It
a whole other
is.
thing. But anyway.
I think it just
is.
really
I mean,
comes down to like
yeah.
each person. Like
True.
Jay Kristoff is somebody that's like, I don't need to support him and his views.
Same.
But like Sarah J. Maas has a lot of similar
yeah.
views, but like I'm also willing to read her books. It's kind of just what you're able to, but also like I think having the conversations to say like Harry Potter can be something that you enjoy and read while still saying that you don't condone the author's choices. Like you can separate art and work to a degree, but I also try not to just like buy new books from authors that I don't like. I'll try and get them from the library or try to get them secondhand so that I'm not directly feeding the pockets of people I can't stand.
Yeah.
It's rough.
But then like talk about it in your videos and review being like, hey, I understand what's being said and like the issues around this, but
I mean, I completely stay away from Harry Potter now. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like I will probably forever watch the movies around Christmas because they're good and I can separate them, but like my hobby right now is watching 4-hour-long deep dive videos of Harry Potter characters and how bad they're written because I didn't read the books. I DNF'd the first one. So it's just like, the book was bad and we never really thought about it. And
I mean, Cho Chang is a great Asian character. Her only only, she has a couple others, but like as the main,
cries over boys and she just cries over them. She's so emotional. She's such a girl. She just cries over the guy that died 2 weeks ago.
No, I agree though. Like I like the movies and I've been getting the itch to rewatch the movies, but I haven't probably seen them since like 2016 or something like that. Like I haven't. Yeah. Anyways, Phantasma.
Yes.
Absolutely. Have to see it on Goodreads.
Oh, it's a fun time, Joanna.
It's so good.
It's like romance.
It's Caraval meets Danny Phantom meets Princess of the Frog meets Throne of the Fallen, which I haven't read.
You got me more at Danny Phantom.
I like how you keep comparing it to Throne of the Fallen and you haven't read it yet.
That's what the marketing compares it to, and I think because of like the 7 Deadly Sins and stuff, that's the tie, and I can see that. I don't think that's the same book in any way, but I think the premise of like the demons and the 7 Deadly Sins and like the trials, like that.
I was gonna be like, is this a new
mythology
release?
Of it, I guess.
And I realized it is a pretty new release. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Throne of the Fallen. Like when I was watching your video and you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that. But while reading Phantasma, there was nowhere in my brain that was like, this is like a Carrie Maniscalco book, you know?
Well, at first it was compared to ACOTAR. Like the marketing was like, it's Caraval meets ACOTAR, and I'm like, no, it's not, and we all know it's not. And then they changed it after the book came out. To Throne of the Fallen.
Funny.
Throne of the Fallen makes more sense than ACOTAR because it's like demons and like
you've got
vampires and
that was a certain book that was like not marketed correctly, and then they tried remarketing again, and it was like something meets Fourth Wing, and I was like, I started reading the arc of that. I was like, that is not what that is at all. I think they were just trying to play on cover. Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is so not that.
But it's good, but I honestly don't think it needs to be compared to another story. Like I think it does really well on its own without like.
I will say it's very similar to Caraval in a lot of ways, with like the sister dynamics and the trials. but
Mm,
it's more
much
adult
more
and has a
adult. Yeah.
very different setting. And
Is this an adult book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There are some very steamy scenes in it.
Okay.
Like I was not
Maybe a little
expecting
too
them to
many
be.
seasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it to be as steamy as it was.
Yeah.
Caraval, when I read it, I was so annoyed. Like Caraval annoyed me.
I know we
So
talked about this.
Yeah. So I guess I just didn't compare. Well, okay. I liked her other series more. The Ballad of Never After or whatever.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay. I like those ones more. But
I need to
her
finish the Caraval
female
trilogy.
Yeah, her female main characters bug me.
Because
That's
I loved Caraval, the first book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it
The
when it
first
came
book's
out
the
in
best one.
2017. And I
Yeah.
just love that book so much. But that's also like the book that got me into reading. Like I understand that people don't like it and why people don't like it, but that's the book that really started me reading again. And so it's got like a special place.
Yeah, I get that.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big Caraval was. I didn't realize how like many
Popular
people
she was?
obsessed. Yeah, until Y'all
Yeah.
West. There was literally like a mob at Y'all West to meet Stephanie Garber, and like
Yeah.
I was like, I'm stepping out.
Even like before, like Caraval was big, but I think Once Upon a Broken Heart made it even bigger because people really like Book Talk really like loves that series.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. Like there were so many. The only cosplays that I saw at Y'all West were of Evangeline, which is the main girl, and
Really?
Once Upon a Broken Heart.
It's one of those things like
I
I know people
know.
like it. I didn't think people liked it enough to like cosplay for it.
Same. That's what I was going in there, and I was like,
crazy.
yeah, I'll bring this
This is
book
my fan
so I
cast
can
right
get.
now.
I love it.
You have your fan cast
Oh my
printed.
goodness.
That should tell you how big it is for sure.
Well, that's maybe an insight to the project that I'm working on today.
Are you
Cute.
fan casting? I love it.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I get scared that I'm gonna accidentally use AI art, and I don't.
Oh.
I didn't like have enough time to like go and ask people to use their fan art, and so I was like, I'll
Mhm.
just go on fan cast and see what people say.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize Stephanie Garber was as big as she was until I was almost trampled at Y'all West because of her.
Thanks. Yeah, she's one
Yeah,
of my favorite
it was bad.
authors, but she's kind of like in the same writing sphere as like Erin A. Craig, Adrienne Young, Adeline Grace.
Adeline
Yeah,
Grace.
Yeah, they're all kind of in like that same sphere together, and so I think that's why I kind of just connect to all of those authors.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I'm gonna end this soon, just so you guys know.
Talking, guys.
No, I don't think we're gonna do another sprint, is what I'm saying. And my camera might die, so
that could do it.
Yeah,
Your camera lasted a very long time though. So
it did. Honestly, it's like my one thing about this camera is the battery life is awful. So there's that.
My camera can only record for 24 minutes at a time.
Really?
What? I would be so frustrated.
It's very annoying for like sit down videos, which is why I really want to buy a new camera eventually.
Can you just plug it in, like charge it while it's filming?
Oh my goodness.
No, it just only records. Like the battery can go for a long time, but it will only record 24-minute chunks at a time.
Oh, that's crazy.
I would go crazy. Yeah.
I've been using that for 3 years for almost all of my videos.
And it doesn't like split it for you automatically then?
Oh, we need to get Sam. We need to get a GoFundMe going for Sam to get a better camera.
Yeah. So once I have a spare $1,000-something, I will be getting a nicer camera that will hopefully be able to just record for an hour straight.
Yeah. Mine was only 5-something. Only. I mean, that's still expensive for a lot of people. It was expensive for me, but it records decently. Like it's not too bad.
Yeah, the Canon G7X Mark II was like $800, $900 when I got it.
And that's the one you use that only films for 24. Oh my goodness.
That is crazy because like my Canon films way better than that.
Yeah.
Like it might break up a video, but it doesn't skip. It'll just part it so that when I'm editing, it's easier for me. Like it'll say like, oh, it hit the limit, and then but it'll continue recording, and when you put them together, it doesn't have like some gap or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's like record, it will stop recording at like 24 minutes something seconds, and then you have to like reset it up to re-record.
Is this a common Canon thing, the splitting of video thing?
I don't think so. I think it's
No.
just the vlog cameras.
Oh, because I would hate that. I just let my camera go. I can get an
That's why I use
hour,
my
2
phone
hours of
so
footage.
often because it's
Yeah.
easy to just like talk to my phone and not have to worry about the time limits.
Yeah.
No, I love it for this. I didn't realize that was like a thing. I guess I don't know. I just thought I don't know,
Yeah.
like
You can just record.
filming
Yeah.
limits. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I'm glad that I didn't end up getting the same Canon or anything like that.
Yeah,
Because it
because
would
mine
drive
will
me
go for
crazy.
I can record for hours too, but it'll just split files, so it won't be like super heavy. But that's also because it's aware I'm recording pretty raw,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you have depth, you have all these other things going on. I'm sure if I went like more basic, it wouldn't even have to split the files or anything. But that just means when I transfer them over, it's like they're just there. It's like the same video. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. No, the only filming for 24 chunks, like minute chunks, I don't know how you've done it for 3 years. I would rage quit.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
True.
Gotta get videos out.
Yeah. Or just switch to my phone, kind of a thing. But
That's
I guess
why I
you
vlog
do
with
film on
my
your phone a
phone.
lot. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like every vlog is on my phone for the most part, and then like sit down videos I'll use the actual camera.
Yeah.
It's easier to set it up and just like have it stay in one place.
It's not bad.
I know, that's nice. I feel like I get annoyed setting up for
Hopefully
like
tax
recording.
season, new camera.
Valid.
Get a GoFundMe started. Please support me.
I just go live and just like, I'll be live until I get enough donations to buy my camera.
24-hour live stream. Let's go. Oh my goodness. I would die, but I would love. I think a 24-hour live stream would be chaos, but it'd be fun.
That is like one of my goals. I don't know when or how, but eventually I will do it.
Let's go. Yeah.
I feel that.
If you need a guest on.
Oh, for sure. It will be annoying everyone. Just be like,
you'll have to slot us.
I think her camera died.
Oh my god, and she has to end this live stream.
Yep.
Chloe, love you.
Love you. We're so sorry.
We hooray for Chloe's first live stream, you guys.
It went so well. Thanks for everybody who came.
Honestly, it did.
Hung out with us a little bit.
Yeah, we'll hang out until maybe she'll hop on her phone and then end it through there.
That could work, yeah.
I can't even pick her.
I know, we can't pick her comments because
because she's still on her laptop. I know she's still
it's just her camera was connected to the computer.
But yes, you should have, how those charity marathon thing. I'm only thinking about Full House, when they had that you need to have a slotted, okay, you come in at 2 a.m. You come in at 3 a.m.
It's okay, everybody gets a time slot. You're gonna keep me company so I don't sleep.
Yes, or be I need a 10-minute rest. Can you please hold this for me? And then we'll hold it down for you.
That's what I would need. Yeah, Daphne has full access to my StreamYard, so I can just be control it, do whatever you have to do.
That would be so fun. Because I would love to do
the
24 thing too, but I was that's a lot.
Yeah, you really have to prep for it and
you gotta get your food out and ready.
Yeah.
That'll be super fun.
But yeah, someday,
hopefully. Is that a giraffe in a bed?
Okay.
There?
Yes.
That's a giraffe, and that's a giraffe.
Are they in a bed?
No, they're on my Cricut that I've never used.
It looks like it looks like it's a bunk bed or something.
No, this is my desk here, and then I have my Cricut, and then plushies on top. I like giraffes. Hello.
Hi. I switched my batteries out, but this one's about to die too because I didn't charge this one.
Yeah.
I'm unprepared. So I'm going to say bye quick while I have my mic and my camera working.
Yes, girl.
Thank you two for holding down the fort while I had an issue. But thank you all for joining.
First has to happen.
Hey, at least it happened almost 3 hours into it and not the first 20 minutes,
That's true.
Next time I will charge both my batteries beforehand because I didn't realize how fast it would kill them. Anyways, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Joanna and Sam, for joining me so that I wasn't just sitting here in an empty room talking to myself. I appreciate it. That's like my main fear of life's sprints. It's like no one's gonna be there.
Yep.
But thank you for everyone for chatting and having fun and reading with us. And I've put the links to Joanna and Sam's channel in the description. Go check them out. And yeah, we're gonna say bye.
Make sure you guys like
Now we
the
have to wait
video.
10
Keep up
seconds for it to
Chloe.
actually end.
Yeah, bye.
Tell each other